Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Mickey here. We are just getting ready for the 21 common public speaking mistakes and how to fix them. So, if you're watching me from any part of the world, I would really appreciate if you can drop a comment or leave a message to help me know that you are following. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the different mistakes that people make, especially public speakers and communicators and presenters. We're going to be looking at the different mistakes that presenters make and how you can fix those mistakes, whatever they might be. So, we're just going to have a short break while we wait for some members to join us. If you can hear me, please, I'd appreciate if you drop a comment. Okay, you can drop a comment through the YouTube channel where you're watching me from, and that would help me to know that you are watching me. By the way, I'm having an amazing time. It's been a very interesting year, a very challenging year as well. But we're grateful to God that things are coming back to normal, and it's giving us more and more opportunity to explore in other aspects of life. So, thank you so much for joining. If you can hear me, I would appreciate if you leave a comment. Okay, I would love you to drop a comment so that I would know that you can hear me. Okay, whoa, Mrs. Chinyere. Wonderful, wonderful. I tried to send you a message and you didn't reply, so I guessed you were very busy. Please, after this session, send me a message, shoot me a message. Let's talk. Let me know how you're doing and all of that. A wonderful evening to everybody watching me from Nigeria and all over the world. This is Dr. Mickey, the founder of the Fodax Public Speaking School, which today happens to be one of the toughest public speaking schools in Nigeria. Mr. Emmanuel Elumeze, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for dropping a comment. So, yes, I was just introducing myself. I am Dr. Mickey, and I am the founder of the Fodax Public Speaking School. And for the last 9 years, our company has focused on helping people to improve on their communication and public speaking skills. So, what you are going to be learning today is part of what we do in our programs. And my intention today is to quickly help you to understand the mistakes that are currently ruining your presentation skills or your presentations generally. So, if you are looking for a way to get better, if you're looking to become a professional speaker, not just an amateur, if you're looking to be the best version of yourself, if you're looking to be the person that a lot of people will listen to and they will love your presentation, they will enjoy your presentation, and they will talk about your presentation, it actually starts with you learning how to avoid these common mistakes that I'm going to talk about. Now, it's important to note that just because I said they are common doesn't mean that everybody understands them or that everybody is familiar with these things. So, to some people, this might actually be the first time in your life that you are hearing that something like this is bad. So, it doesn't mean that you are not growing or that you're not getting better. It simply means that nobody has ever looked at you and informed you that you can become better. You can become much better than you currently are. So, our goal and intentions today is to help you. Okay, I want to help you. I want to help you by providing you with solid information that can help you to drastically and impressively improve on your public speaking and general presentation skills. So, if you watch this program to the end, you're going to get a lot of benefits. If you have friends that you've told about this program, I want you to call them. I want you to chat them up. I want you to encourage them to join us because this program has just begun. I'm going to send a message to some people. I'm already sending some messages. I've been sending messages before now, but I want to send another message to some people and encourage them to join us, because once we start, there is no going back, there is no stopping. Okay, I just want to talk about this and get over it today. Once again, if you are listening to me, if you can hear me, I would love you to drop a comment. If you want to ask a question, you drop it in the comment section. So I want you to drop a comment to check if it's working on your own end, because that's how I'm going to take your questions. Okay, this is not Zoom, so I can't hear you, but I can read your messages when I get back to it. All right, so I think we're going to probably jump into what we have for today. This is public speaking mistakes and how you can fix them. Public speaking mistakes and how you can fix these mistakes. I'm so excited and so happy to be sharing this with you today. So, my name is Stephen Michael, and I am an award-winning public speaking coach. Okay, now just to draw your attention to this, a coach is not a coach is different from just a teacher. A coach is someone who can hold you by the hand and help you to be able to practice or to be able to achieve an end. A teacher might be able to just pass the information, but a coach does more than passing information. A coach is a strategic person, is a strategic resource person who understands not just the activities involved in getting the job done, but also how to help the people, the individual, to be able to do it. So I pride myself today as a successful coach, having done this for over 9 years. I'm also a sales and business presentation coach. So I help people, firms, and organizations to think of how they can improve on their persuasion skills and how they can become better business people by improving on their ability to close sales, persuade people, and make great impacts. So I am also a sales and marketing consultant, and I help companies and businesses and organizations to think through their sales. When they have lots of challenges that has to do with their sales, they talk to me, and we have this company we call Fodax Marketing Agency. Through that company, we help people to plan and execute very strategic, very creative marketing campaigns. So enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about why you are here. You are here to learn the 21 public speaking mistakes that you are currently making and how you can fix them as quickly as possible so that your presentation tomorrow or next tomorrow is just going to be awesome and amazing. So first of all, there is a clear difference between an error and a mistake. A mistake is usually accidental. Errors are not usually accidental, okay? But mistakes are usually accidental. In other words, you don't even know them. So to some of us, what I'm sharing today is a mistake, but to some of us, it's not actually a mistake, it's an error. In other words, you know, but for some reasons, you just couldn't do it. You just couldn't apply it. So whichever part of the divide you belong to is not our concern tonight. Our concern tonight is how do you fix this so that you can quickly get back your presentation power and be able to give your best when you have a presentation. Having said that, let's start with the first ever presentation mistake you should avoid is number one, self-obsession. What does that mean? It simply means that some presenters, some public speakers are so obsessed with themselves. And when you go up on stage and you are so consumed by your own self, you are thinking so much about yourself, it leads to pride, it leads to arrogance, and sometimes it leads to unnecessary comparison. In our public speaking school, one of the things I teach, especially introverts and also other people that want to learn public speaking, is to learn how to think more about the audience and the subject matter and not be obsessed with themselves. People who are consumed by themselves would hardly connect with the world. If you look at the global leaders that are making great impact across the world, one of the key things you notice about them is that they forget themselves. They are so obsessed by their course. They are so obsessed by the project, by the initiative, that they lose a sense of themselves. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't love yourself or that you shouldn't value yourself or that you shouldn't respect yourself. It simply means you shouldn't be obsessed with yourself, because when you are obsessed with yourself, you lose sight of what is more important, which is the audience and the subject matter. So Think of the last time that you were sitting in front of this presenter or this public speaker, but this person obviously is just so full of themselves. They brag about their achievements, or they have this false sense of humility. You know, people that have false sense of humility, they start by saying something like, my humble self, even though I've achieved a lot, but I don't want to brag about it. You know, so what they do basically is, because they are so consumed with themselves, they can hardly pass out information that would profit someone else or benefit someone in the audience. If you want to be a successful public speaker, you've got to forget about yourself and focus Okay, if you can hear me, please indicate by dropping a comment. We just had a brief interruption, but I'm back. If you can hear me, please indicate. Okay, good, good. Zainab, can hear me. All right. So let me go right into it. And let's see, let's talk about the first public speaking mistake. Okay, the second public speaking mistake was reading the speech instead of reading the speech instead of delivering the speech. A speech to be delivered. In other words, it's like conceiving a baby and going to the hospital and you deliver that, you have to have conceived the baby. So you have to take your time, study your speech and conceive your speech, and then be able to deliver your speech. Okay, you don't want to go to the stage and practically read your presentation, because whenever you do that, you hurt your own chances, or you shoot your own chances of success in that particular presentation. I think this is where we are. Let me show you this. Okay, this is where we are. So you need to stop reading your speech and focus on delivering your speech. Do not always, come to the stage with paper with the hope to read from your paper. Instead, come prepared, come to speak to the people, come to speak without having to read or glance through the papers. Okay? So that is what I mean by you should not read from the paper. Now, the light is not very good right now. I'm expecting them to bring the light any moment from now. So I would just want you to follow me as much as you can. If you are just joining us now, please leave a comment so that I will know that you can hear me, because right now I can't tell if you can hear me and if you're seeing me. We are talking about the 21 public speaking mistakes to avoid, the 21 public speaking mistakes that you need to avoid when you are making presentations and when you are giving a public speaking speech. So make sure that you are still following, and when you are following us, drop a comment so that I would know that you are following. All right, if you can hear me, please leave a comment. If you can hear me, leave a comment so I know you can hear me. So we just talked about the second thing, which is stop reading your speech, but instead try to deliver your speech, right? And now we're going into the third point for today, which is to stop wandering your eyes. When you are speaking in front of people, make sure that your eyes are not wandering from one angle of the podium or of the stage to the other. I've seen people do this a lot. They don't maintain eye contact with the audience members. Instead, they let their eyes to wander about while they are speaking. This makes you look generally suspicious, makes you look like you are not an honest person, and it also can be distracting when you are speaking and you are not focused on the audience. As a speaker, it should be your joy, it should be your focus. Your focus should be on the audience, not wandering your eyes around the hall. The fourth thing I want to say is disrespecting a member of the audience. If you, this is a very big mistake. If you're going to be a good presenter or a good speaker, one of the things you should avoid is talking down on a member of the audience or embarrassing a member of the audience. So you should avoid disrespecting a member of the audience, because when you do that, you actually disrespect everybody in the audience. So avoid anything that in any way would disrespect a member of the audience, no matter how small the person might look. Fifth point is pride, arrogance, or insensitivity. Some speakers are so proud and arrogant, or they are insensitive to the challenges that people are facing or the problems that the audience might be facing, which might be easy for the speaker, but of course not easy for the audience. So a good speaker, a great speaker is sensitive to people's pains and problems. And apart from that, they try not to show their pride or arrogance while speaking to people on stage. Also, avoid telling lies and fabricated facts. As a speaker, integrity and honesty is something you really have to maintain. You really have to make sure that you protect them, because whatever you said today can be consulted by tomorrow. Okay, so you're a speaker, your voice is going to be recorded, your messages are going to be recorded, and tomorrow people are going to be listening to everything that you said. So number 6 is telling lies and fabricated facts. You don't want to fabricate facts as a speaker, and you don't want to tell lies. You've got to make sure that whatever you are saying is something you are sure you've researched and it is true to the best of your knowledge. The number 7 mistake that many presenters and public speakers make is overgeneralization. Overgeneralization. This is a situation where some people would say something like, all women love money, all men are violent. Anytime you use the word all, you are already overgeneralizing. And as a speaker, you are expected to know that nothing applies to all. It is not all men that are violent. It is not all women that love money, okay? At least not in the context of that particular claim. So learn to use the words like, or the phrases like, some men are violent, many men are violent, few men are violent, most men are violent. You are likely going to be politically correct by using those words than by over generalizing those words. So number 7, over generalization is a presentation and public speaking mistake. Number 8 is pointing at the audience. You have to avoid pointing at your audience. If you're going to have a successful presentation, the last thing you want is to create a mental barrier in the mind of the people who are watching you. And how you can avoid this is to make sure that you don't point at the audience when you are speaking to them, because it makes you look confrontational. Anytime you point at the audience while you are speaking, it makes you appear confrontational. So you don't want to do that for any reason. Please, if you can hear me and you are still following, I would like you to drop a comment. I would like you to drop a comment so that I know that you are following me. Okay. So here we continue. Point number 9 is monologue. Monologue is a situation where a speaker is talking to his or herself. As a speaker, you're speaking to people. You are supposed to raise your voice to match with the people that are watching you or people that are listening to you. So you're not supposed to speak as if you're talking to yourself or murmur or bring your voice so low that people are struggling to hear you. So you want to be a successful speaker, you want to be a better speaker, stop using monologue sort of voice when you're having a conversation. Instead, learn to use dialogue. Learn to speak in such a way that encourages the members of the audience to pay attention, to feel value, to feel like you are there for them and not there for yourself. Number 10 mistake that public speakers and presenters generally make is lacking a takeaway in your presentation. At the end of every presentation, there's got to be a takeaway. There's got to be something people can take home and do and practice. You can't just talk to people without giving them something to go home with, something to take home with them, something to remember, something to work on. So think of your next presentation. Does it have a takeaway? Does it have something that the audience can briefly and easily and quickly take home and work on it? If your presentation does not have such a thing, then you have failed in that particular presentation. Number 11 is too much style and no substance. What does that mean? It's a situation where a speaker have learned all the styles, all the swags, But at the end of the day, you do not really have so much information or so much substantial information or idea to share with the audience. I like to say this, and I hope you really get it. Public speaking is not just about the communication skills. It's not just about the style of communication. It's also about having something worth saying. You've got to have something, substantial, something that people can benefit from what you have to talk to them about. So before you start preparing for your next presentation, I want to ask you, is it really important, the information you have to share? Is it really important? Is it really helpful to the people that are going to be spending their time and sometimes their resources just to watch you? Number 12 is poor time management. As a speaker, one of the things you must do for yourself is to learn how to manage your time very effectively. Time management is a question of character. It's not a question of being able to keep time. It's a question of character. Every time that you fail to keep time, you demonstrate yourself as someone who lacks character. Seriously, this is important for speakers because I've watched speakers over the years. I know of a pastor many years ago, he would say, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to close. And then he'll keep going and keep going and keep going for like 20 minutes and then come back and say, well, in the next 5 minutes, I promise you we're going to close. And then he will keep going again for the next 10 minutes and come back again to say, in the next 5 minutes, in fact, after I tell this story, I'm going to close. He will finish the story and continue and keep going. So we've known him. Every time he says in the next 5 minutes, we don't take him seriously. And that is bad for you as a speaker. You've got to learn how to manage your time. And how do you do this? Learn how to close before time. If you were given 30 minutes to make a presentation, prepare for 20 to 25 minutes maximum. If you are given an hour to make presentation, prepare for 50 to 45 minutes maximum. Use the remaining time to say something, or maybe at the end of the day, your conversation will elapse into the time. But do not prepare for 60 minutes when you are given 60 minutes, because at the end of the day, the time you are going to eat into will affect every other thing in that particular event. So number 13 would be hiding. Okay, number 12 now would be hiding behind a lectern. Hiding behind a lectern. That's number 12. Trying to pull it up. Hiding behind a lectern. Sorry. Number 12, hiding behind a lectern. That's it. There are speakers that when they are invited to speak and they have this lectern in front of them, they kind of go behind the lectern and stay there to deliver their presentation. Now, this might look like it's okay, but trust me, by every public speaking standard, there is everything wrong with it. If you want to make a presentation, you want the members of the audience to see you. You want them to feel your presence. Nobody can feel your presence if you're hiding behind some desk or some lectern. So the best thing to do is to move out of that lectern and get in front of the audience so that they can feel and they can see you. Now, this is different if you are speaking in a place where the speech has to be highly regulated, like some political meetings, and because of that, they use a lectern. It's a different thing. But if you have the opportunity or you have the power, always ask to be moved to the front of the stage where you can have a physical contact with members of the audience. It will give you a presentation power, and it will make you much more effective, and it will help you to connect more with the audience than when you hide behind a lectern. The number 13 problem mistakes some speakers make is when they get too salesy or too pushy, or when they are trying to feign motivational speaking. So what does this mean? It means you're trying to be too persuasive, right? So because you're trying to be too persuasive, you end up being too pushy, and it doesn't speak so well of you. Persuasion has to be subtle, not pushy. If it is pushy, it is no longer persuasion. It is force. It is some sort of coercion. So keep your persuasions subtle, not pushy, and avoid trying to be too motivational. Don't force motivation on people. Learn better ways to create motivation without having to feign motivation. I've listened to some Nigerian speakers, and you see at the point they start doing, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And over time, it's becoming a cliche. It's becoming irritating to the ear because obviously this person is struggling to be motivational. The good, the wonderful motivational speakers don't actually force it. They tell stories, and at the end of the day, you are the one that is set on fire. All right. They don't try to force motivation, they merely create the motivation and let it flow. So that is number 13. Don't try to force motivation. Don't try to be too pushy. Keep it subtle. Persuasion must be subtle. Now, number 14 is when a speaker does not show passion or enthusiasm. As a speaker, one of the things you owe to your audience is to show them that you are passionate about the subject, or at least you're passionate about them. Okay, and then enthusiasm, that you are happy, you are excited to be in their presence. So when a speaker is speaking and there is no passion, there is no enthusiasm, what happens is that you generally create a dull audience and you make the audience feel asleep and feel like wanting to go home because obviously you are not passionate about this subject. You cannot put fire, or you cannot light a candle without fire. So if you do not have passion in yourself, you do not have enthusiasm in yourself, you cannot pass the same enthusiasm to other people. It is what you have that you can give. So as speakers, it is our job to make sure that the passion and the enthusiasm is there. Do not speak on things you're not passionate about. And if you have to speak on anything, do some studies until they become something that you are happy or something that you want to happily talk about. Number 15 is not making eye contact. As a speaker, it is important not just to make eye contact, but also to make eye contact with members of the audience. Every time you're speaking and you are not making eye contact, you are not helping matters. First of all, you're making the audience to doubt what you're saying, to doubt the information that you are passing across. Because it's only when people are lying that they are afraid to make eye contact. But if you genuinely believe in what you're saying, and you believe in the cause that you're preaching or you're speaking about, then you've got to learn to maintain eye contact with members of the audience. Now, because of our time, I know I'm Ross still following me. I would appreciate if you drop a message so that I will know that you are following. If you can still hear me, unfortunately, my light was interrupted and I can't really do anything about it right now. I'm expecting it to come up any moment from now, but pending to that time, let's continue our conversation. If you can hear me, you drop a message. Someone says the audio is breaking. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope probably it's network or something. So it's going to be fixed. Okay, so who is still following? Better. Okay, fine. Fine, yeah. So now we're going to continue from where I stopped, which is point number 15. Point number 16 would be imitation and lack of authenticity. I've seen speakers that try to imitate Barack Obama. Some people try to imitate Winston Churchill. Some people try to imitate their favorite icon. The problem with trying to imitate other speakers is that the people you're talking to already know these guys. And you cannot be the best version of someone else. So the best you can be is the second version of Barack Obama or the third version of whoever whichever icon you're following. So as much as I encourage people to learn from other speakers, I also discourage them from trying to imitate you from having to imitate them verbatim. You need to bring you need to bring in your own authenticity. You need to bring in your own originality into the conversation. Okay, your own authenticity and your own originality is into the conversation. Do not copy people to the extent that when you are speaking, all we can see you and about you is just another person's voice, another woman's voice, or another man's voice. Learn to learn from people without having to their attitudes and characteristics verbatim. Bring in your own authenticity, your own originality into the conversation. It gives us, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun, but your own originality is what makes what you say different. It is your own originality that makes your ideas different. It's not like you are saying something that nobody else has said. It's the way you said it and the way it related to your personal story that eventually makes all the difference. So think about that and see how to work that out for yourself. So let's continue going down. Number 17 is poor visuals. By poor visuals, I mean people that, we cram so many text into their PowerPoint presentations. If you want to be a good speaker, one of the skills you must learn is the skill of design, or at least you can outsource your presentations. There are guys out there who just basically focus on design PowerPoint. You can send them your presentation and let them design your PowerPoint. Always remember to reduce a lot of text from your Okay, some people lost the video. We had a little interruption. We had a little interruption, but we are going to kick off with the remaining two, and then we close for tonight. We're going to kick off with the remaining two. So the next one, the number 20 problem or mistake that presenters and public speakers make is what I refer to as a little learning. A little learning is when you don't have adequate information about the things you want to talk about. So you want to make presentations, you want to talk about something, but you do not have adequate information regarding the subject matter that you want to deliver. If you're going to be a successful speaker, you've got to do a lot of studies, both intensive and extensive studies. You've got to be knowledgeable, and you cannot have a successful presentation if you have not invested your time to learn. Alexander Pope said, "A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the parent's drink. Dear, shallow source again." So there's a spring in ancient Macedonia known as the parent spring, and it is believed to be the seat of wisdom and the center of inspiration. And so this spring, if you take a little of it, it will intoxicate you. It will start moving you. But if you want to stop being intoxicated, then you have to take more. So that is how knowledge is. Knowledge, when you have it little, it intoxicates you. It is dangerous both to you and to the people who are listening to you. But when you have adequate information, when you have adequate information regarding the subject matter, it helps you to be more helpful to the people that you're talking to. So the last part is lack of relief through humor or icebreakers. Listen, I've sat down and listened to speakers who can speak for hours without any comic relief, without any humor, without any joke, and no icebreakers. That is a bit tiring and really, really hectic for most people. As a speaker, one of the assets you must develop is a sense of humor, a good sense of humor. You need to be able to speak in such a way that people will find your presentations entertaining. So there has to be entertainment in your educative material. Whether you are giving a presentation on leadership or a presentation on marriage, you've got to learn how to bring a little sense of entertainment into your presentation. And you can do that, of course, by using humor. It mustn't be joke. It mustn't be joke. You have to understand that there are things that are funny without having to be jokes. Okay, so you can bring in a sense of humor, or you can bring in jokes if you have any interesting jokes, or you can use icebreakers to help members of the audience to relax a little bit and get a grip around your conversation without having to be so strict or so focused on what you're saying. So we've talked about the 21 public speaking and presentation mistakes that anybody needs to avoid. And this is where we come to the end of today's program. It has been lots of challenges with technology on my own end. I really crave your indulgence, and I really apologize for all the inconveniences that this may have caused you. And I hope that you got something tonight. I hope that you can reach out to me and let me know where you have questions. I'll personally answer your questions on WhatsApp. If you have any questions, you can ask. And I want you to also leave messages on the YouTube channel. Also follow my YouTube channel for more videos like this. We're still experimenting, trying to find out a better way for me to be able to reach out to a wider audience. And today is the first time I'm doing this particular type of video, and I'm seeing some challenges back and forth. But that's okay. As long as you got one or two things, take it home, practice it and practice it, and with time you're going to get a lot better. So I want to quickly tell you about our public speaking school, the Fodax Public Speaking School. We currently have branches in Lagos and Abuja. If you want to overcome stage fright, if you want to build self-confidence, if you want to cultivate stage presence and poise and sharpen your charisma and influence, influence, if you want to be able to deliver impromptu speeches with ease, grab and sustain audience attention, create and deliver world-class presentations, if you want to improve on your English language, then I encourage you to join any of our FODAX training programs in your location in Lagos and Abuja, most especially. But also, we have online courses that you can take for a very affordable fee, online classes you can register for and get started with our programs. You get certificates, you get 4 weeks training, you get practical sessions if you did the physical program, and you also get a certificate at the end of your program. Now, for this public speaking training, we have group training that you can join. Okay, it's more affordable as a group. But if you want private coaching as well, you can also register for private coaching. And you can also go for in-house training if you have a group of people in your organization or in your company and you want us to come and train you there. We can also send our trainers to reach out to you and come and handle the training for you. And if you want to learn online, we also have such available for you. And also, I want to invite you to the Sales Success Academy for people who want to improve their sales and persuasion skills. We have a particular course that has been designed to help you achieve that, and it is called the Sales Success Academy. You will learn how to sell anything, even if you hate selling like myself a couple of years ago. You also learn how to create and deliver sales presentations, or how to create and deliver business pitches for investors, and how to persuade people, how to close the deal every day. Some of us don't know how to close deals. And you are going to learn 25 new ways to get 5 times more clients in 90 days. So this is not just a sales training, it's also a bit of a marketing strategy and marketing tactic training, especially contemporary marketing skills like social media marketing, networking skills, and all of that is going to be taught in this particular school. Also, networking skills for salespeople, negotiation skills for salespeople, and how to sell premium services like we do. If you want to learn any of these, I really encourage you. You can see the number on the screen. That's our company number. You can always call or send me a chat on Instagram, or send me a chat on Facebook, send me a chat on WhatsApp, so that we can work it out and you can get any of our courses, any of our programs, and get yourself started with a solid, powerful program. My name is Stephen Michael, and I thank you so much for making out the time to be with me tonight. I hope that you can see me and that you can hear me, and I look forward to hearing from you on WhatsApp and getting some feedback from you that will help me to improve on subsequent presentations. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful night.